Oh my goodness. Hello. Hello, everybody. How are you all doing? Uh, just hanging out here. Hope you got to see my little weird intro I took a couple minutes and made because it made me laugh. I'm like, I'm going to try to make some intros on here. I like playing with the Canva app. Sometimes I feel a little old and get frustrated, but is what it is what it is. No big deal. This is Reflections. Welcome to tonight's show. Hope you all are doing well tonight. I cannot get rid of this. Okay, I'll accept Facebook profile. You cannot sending Facebook messages. That's fine. Okay. Anyway, hope you all are having a wonderful night. I'm out here hanging out on this Thursday evening at 6:45 at night. If you're joining me now, I just missed the killer intro. The struggle is real out here, bro. Struggle is real. But I'm gonna check over here and see if my how my stream is looking on YouTube. Seeing if it's laggy at all. Let me know if it's laggy. Let me know if it's laggy. It's not laggy. Cool. I synced it. Anyway, oh God, what happened? I kicked my thing apparently. Oh. Anyway, this is going to be, again, my weekly thing. I didn't do it last week. To be honest, I have been on the struggle bus pretty hardcore. Had my car go out of commission, and it's anything extra kind of messes me up. Hello, person who joined me. Much love for getting on here at 6:45 on a Thursday night. But, just talking about how, I didn't do my last week's stream because of mental health reasons. And, I'm upfront about it. That's the whole reason I'm even doing these podcasts, because of mental health stuff. That's been my main thing. My car went out, and I tend to be in this little bubble as a person who suffers with anxiety, and anything that happens outside this bubble messes me up. You know what I mean? But again, we're on here, man. We're on here. So I'm going to get on and talk about a little bit of spiritual stuff, a little bit of I brought a few books here that interest me that I wanted to share on the chat. Again, for those that are going to watch this later, I am doing this live. I am not scripted at all. It's obviously. But again, thanks for joining me here on a Thursday night. So I wanted to talk about a book that completely changed the whole course of my life. So I was deeply, coming out of addiction, coming out of a long stretch of addiction. And I was looking for anything that I could get my hands on. One website that I found was called Gaia, and it's like Netflix for consciousness expanding videos. And then slowly but surely, I'm not actually sure where I came across this book, but it's called The Power of Your Subconscious Mind. And after I read this book, it absolutely changed my entire outlook on existence. It was one of those books that I listened to it because I had it on Audible. I bought it. And then I bought it on Audible like I usually do. But I listened to this book, I think, probably 30 times. And it made me realize something, because I've always been able to see outside the box when it comes to spiritual and religious subjects, that the subconscious mind is the commonality between pretty much every single religion in the world, every single spiritual tradition, every single religion. It's all basically operates around the subconscious mind. So it doesn't actually matter what you believe in as far as like a higher power goes, whether you believe in, God, whether you believe in, if you're just spiritual, you're agnostic. What matters is that when you're choosing to believe, you're believing in something higher than yourself. So your subconscious mind all day long is, you look at yourself like a gardener, your conscious mind. So you're planting seeds all day long that essentially sow your reality. And the fact of the matter is, we are the cause and effect of all the problems. Like, it is your own mind that's working against you. If you're ever wondering why you're experiencing super negative patterns in your life, or I keep dating the same person, I keep having this bad luck, quote unquote, It is your mind working against you. And the fact is, you can get in control of this. I've proven it to myself because I used to have terrible luck, right? I used to have just what I considered awful luck. I'd have all these bad happenings and come to realize it's my own bad thoughts that were creating this horrific reality tunnel for myself. That is the secret that the religious people don't want you to know. That's the secret that the world governments don't want you to know, is that we can influence the reality around us based on your habitual thought patterns. You know, the idea of manifesting, it is 100% real. Now, it is not as simple as, hey, I'm going to get $1 million tomorrow. You have to match that with faith. You have to faithfully write it out, come up with a plan, be like, hey, I'm going to make $1 million by this time next year by doing this. You write out a plan. You write it out every day. You let that sink into your mind, and it will, the universe itself, whatever you want to call it, will bring that into your experience. But you have to faithfully do this on a daily basis. It's not just going to come to you. So the power of your subconscious mind literally teaches you tricks that you can do throughout the entire book to help you, like, basically cheat. It's a cheat sheet. So, like, I'm going to give you a little shortcut here. So the idea of actually doing this is to get yourself into a sleepy, drowsy state, and you're essentially hypnotizing yourself. You know, do this right before you go to bed. You know, repetition. Like, hey, create a mantra out of what you want. And believe me, it 100% works, and you have nothing to lose to try it. And one of the main things that I do or have done in the past is that, you know, you manifest things by yourself. Like, hey, you know, I am a good person. I am this. I am this. You know, whatever you put, you know, after I am is what you're going to become. So you don't allow any negative thoughts entertained at all in your mind, and you will start to see your life pattern change. You know, that's one of the it's one of the tricks I've used to help myself. But, you know, obviously nothing is perfect because you're still going to get bad things. Bad things are going to happen. It's only a matter of time. You know what I mean? Like, there is no ifs, ands, or buts. Eventually something bad is going to happen to you, and it's about how you react, how you look at it. But that's my spiel on that one. That's probably a book that's had one of the most influences on me in the past, you know, 5 years or so. In probably the past 5 years than I have in my entire life. It's been insane. I've read, I think, 40 books now on various spiritual and conspiracy topics, and I'm continuously reading more and more as I go. Another book that I've been really heavily into is called The Law of One. This changed, so the power of your subconscious mind changed how I feel about, like, religion and manifestation and stuff like that. But the Law of One changed how I view the entire universe itself. So it is what taught me what the world and what the universe really is. So the universe is actually alive. I mean, I've always felt this inside. So the universe is actually one giant living being, essentially. And all of us here are part of that one. The idea of the Law of One is that to make you realize that everything and everyone is one. It is simply an illusion that we live in for the evolution, you know, for the creator to experience itself. And the idea always comes up, like somebody was debating with me earlier about the idea of, you know, creation, the creation idea being silly, or, you know, the other people will say that the evolution idea is silly, you know, the Big Bang Theory. The fact is, both of them by themselves are silly. You take creationism and be like, oh yeah, God created this and the heavens and earth and blah, blah, blah. Like, it's obviously an incomplete story. But the Law of One, it teaches you, first of all, that it doesn't say that you don't need to follow any religion at all. What matters is that you're believing in God and the creator of the universe and being of service to other people. But the fact is, the way you get a full picture about the universe itself is to combine both spirituality and science. That is the key. You need both of them in order to get the full picture. And there was a separation at one point in time. And basically what happened is we've been manipulated. But in all honesty, you don't need to know the full truth. All you need to do is believe and be of service to others. That's really the secret. You don't necessarily have to know where we came from as a planet. But shit, I mean, I think it would be helpful to know. Let's see what we got. See if anybody's got any questions. What? Oh, I'm live. Yeah. Look at this guy. Live on the Facebook. Just wanted to make sure. But anyway. So I've been really, really obsessed with the Law of One series. Like Ricky, my co-host on the channel we do on Tuesday, has really heard a lot about that. I know he might get annoyed sometimes because that is what I'm most interested in, but oh well. Love you, Ricky. Anyway, I thought he was going to join me tonight, but he's slacking, Ricky, slacking. We also didn't do our show on Tuesday. It's okay, man. Sometimes, you need breaks in the week. Sometimes you got family visiting. It's all groovy. But yeah, for those that don't know, I mean, I talked about it in my last one. I'm pretty open about this stuff. I'm actually a recovered addict. I'm not going to use the term recovering because there's no part of me that will ever go back to using that crap that I was using that destroyed me. There is no way, shape, or form that's going to happen. I've recognized why it is that I did what I did and, got on the stuff that I got on. And one of the things they tell you to lean on is like spirituality or faith, whatever you want to call it. And the truth is, without a doubt, man, I'm leaning on faith more and more. The older I get, the more I realize that this universe really is alive and it's communicating with you all day, every single day. The fact is, most people are not aware, not looking at the signs that are all in front of you. Like, you'd be praying all the time and you get 800 answers to your prayer. People put in your path that, give you that weird, that's weird coincidence, and people just write it off and go about their day. But the fact is, that is how the universe communicates with you. If you take a moment, start to connect the dots on all these weird coincidences that you experience, you start to realize that God or the universe, whatever you want to call it, is communicating with you on a daily basis. And it is profound once you start seeing it. For me, I see it everywhere I go. I see it in the people that I talk to. I see it in the, when I'm driving home from work, in the strange coincidences of, random license plates with repeating number patterns. Like, I have friends, that would write this off and be like, yeah, it means nothing. But the fact is, I've seen enough. I've, done enough research for myself to know that there's something interesting going on in this universe. And I am not one to sit here and believe that we live in a, essentially a lifeless universe that formed out of nothing, because that does not make any more sense than a, intelligence creating this universe. 100%. It does not make any more sense that the universe came from nothing than an intelligent being creating this universe. I just think our understanding of the creation as a whole is flawed. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm obsessed with the Law of One series. It is probably the most complete collection. It has been, there's physicists the guy that actually, wrote this. Oh, wait, what's up, buddy? The guy that was doing the questions in this question and answer book was actually a physicist. He was a practicing physicist. And like, when he was asking these questions, like, they're really profound. It's not a simple, freaking basic dude asking these advanced beings questions. Oh, look at this guy. Truth. Hello, sir. I didn't know it pops up on my live chat too over there. Whoa. Hello. Interesting. So it commented on there too. Truth. So that's my co-host for our Tuesday show, old Ricky there popping in, saying hello. Appreciate you popping in, my friend. Again, we were talking about the Law of One series. This guy, indeed. Talking about the Law of One series, and it's been a pretty big focal point in my life. And to basically talk, I don't know how I got on the creation of the universe because I always come back to this somehow. But basically, trying to explain to people, just like you had, Ricky was telling me about a dream that he had about extraterrestrial contact, essentially, and you have to understand that God and the universe itself will contact you through dreams, through people, through random synchronistic events that seem to not make any sense. But it is literally always communicating with you all the time, like in the craziest things, craziest ways. If you have an internal desire, hey, I want to move to Seattle, for instance, you're going to see all kinds of nonsense saying, hey, move to Seattle. You're going to see a guy in a Seattle shirt. I believe this happens to certain people I know who have a strong desire to move to Seattle. You know what I mean? Looking at you, buddy. Looking at you. Not me. I already live up here. Oh, well, Puyallup, whatever. Same difference. But I don't know. I think if you for my friends who watch this later again, I think if you start to really look at the universe itself, you start to realize that the idea of the Big Bang is no more or no less ridiculous than the idea of an intelligent creation. And I might do an entire series talking about the Law of One probably, but like me and Ricky did that. Feel free to check it out on the Paranormal Truth Seekers page. I believe we did a whole 4 episodes on the Law of One. Oh, glorious stuff. That is glorious stuff. And actually, what I was telling Ricky is his dream that he had about the ETs, and the way they explained the planet essentially being in quarantine or whatever to keep evil entities out. That's all in the Law of One. That may be a bit too advanced for some people to accept, but hey, we are advanced. Paranormal. Who's Dense Beyond? Is it? Oh, they're both you. So I was sharing a couple books. This is, again, the Law of One series. This is actually the collector's edition that I got. It says the raw material, and you could be, is that the Egyptian god Ra? Not a god. They were worshipped as gods, but it's essentially a channeled. It's a bunch of channeled material. So if you know what, like the Bible, when they say that the people were basically divinely inspired to write, they're basically channeling material from a higher source, right? So these books essentially are written in the same way, except for it's like a question and answer type of a thing. This is my streaming on Paramount Truth. Oh yeah, gotcha. Prophets, there it is, prophets. Basically, it's you go in, the person in there or in the book series goes into a trance state, and then this guy asks questions of this entity that they're apparently channeling. So they were really, really advanced in doing this. They had been doing this a long time. I think it's 10 years before they eventually got this contact. And the stuff that they ask, the questions and answers they ask, they try to stump them. There's people, full-blown physicists that have tried to disprove the information. Nobody's been able to disprove it. The information is flawless spiritually. It is you can read it without being okay, it's trying to turn me to the devil or something. But I don't know. It's changed my whole life. And honestly, I've been struggling with mental health, and whenever I struggle with mental health, it means I need to get back on the spiritual side of things, because that's what we need to be doing. If you're wondering why you can't get out of the hole you're in, and you're not paying attention to your 3 sides of your body, your physical, your mental, and your spiritual, you have to attend to all of them. Otherwise you're going to be depressed and sad. And that's a fact. Most of us crawl into bad habits and don't ever get out of that hole. I mean, I was in that hole for years and addicted to everything. And then the other book I got over here, the good old Bible, good old-fashioned Bible. Also, the Dead Sea Scrolls version, which is also an amazing read that my sister gave me. It's, I think, the oldest version known of the Bible, but for those that watch this later. Well, that's the books that I got there, buddy. That's the ones. That's the ones. So my show and tell, as my kids were doing at school, show and tell. Because actually, that's what inspired me. Because they were having to bring items into class that describe them. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna bring these in here. Man, this freaking incense is choking me out. Jesus. And thank you, Ricky, for joining me. Oh, thank you for the 5 people that watch us later, but it's okay. You know, you got to start somewhere on YouTube. You got to get a following from somewhere. I'm glad I'm seeming like I'm not lagging on this internet today. Last time I was lagging pretty good, but it's because I turned my VPN off. Maybe this next week, sir, we can, when we do the double host, I don't know, maybe it'll be easier instead of the guest thing. I don't know if it'll work better that way or not, but oh, thank you, sir. What a kind soul. Trying to stream. Do this. We'll do the one with you on Tuesday. Do the one here on Thursday, and try to just. Really, all I'm doing is venting here. I'm chatting, man. Just chatting about random stuff. Generally, like I usually do. It's easier if there would be, you know, if there's people to bounce ideas off of. But I mean, I'm glad you're here to help me bounce ideas because I'd be running out of stuff. You know what I mean? Like any random questions. So I mean, what is it? I was going to ask you about your dream again, but I can't. I don't remember what aspect of it. Yeah, like, who is it that talks about that? Your most conscientious. Yeah, I don't know how to spell that word either, but I know what you mean. Conscientious. The, who is it that talks about it? David Wilcock talks about it. The Law of One series author talks about it. They all talk about, like, when you have contact in your dreams from aliens or extraterrestrials, like, it's not just a dream. Obviously, we believe that in our little circle here that dreams are way more than just dreams. Could be glimpses into other realities, could be your true reality for all we really know. But like extraterrestrial contact, if you ever have those in a dream, it's something way more, something different, because this universe itself, you know, these beings exist all around us. They're probably, hell, they could be in here with me right now. And anytime that happens, you need to pay, close attention to the messages. You know, one way to tell if it's a positive or a negative interaction is the vibes you are feeling. If you were feeling, you know, good vibes, if you were these alien, you know, they were protecting you in your dream or something like that, that is benevolent beings trying to guide you on a path. Any feelings of dread and terror, that is the negative side. You know what I mean? That's what they say. David Wilcock, that's what the Law of One author says, whose name is slipping my mind, but many encounters in my dreams. Yes, sir. You be telling me that all the time, man. That's wild. Like some of that stuff. I think it's because I've been so afraid, but I've been opening myself up to a lot more lately. And it's crazy. You know, I started, you know, praying that, let's see. The first group that approached me, I knew not to go with them, for they were really pushing for me to. The second group, the good guys, I felt completely at ease. That's exactly what it is. You will know. I mean, especially in a dream where you're in, you know, in an altered state of consciousness already, or a high level of consciousness. I mean, you're going to know when something is good or bad. You should always trust your instinct. Like in the day-to-day world, we get all muddled up because of the veil of forgetting, or whatever you want to call it, that keeps us from knowing the freaking answers. I wish we could just know the damn answers, but like, you got to trust your intuition, the gut feeling. And you said they talked about like a force field or something. I should have just pulled this up and read it, but I don't know, man. One of these days, I'll have enough followers to stream this on TikTok too. You know what I mean? Stream it. For those that don't know, I try to do inspirational TikToks as well. You know, help people out, get through the day. If I can help one person, I'm cool with that. If I can get one person thinking and looking into different books, that is awesome too. That's the whole goal, man. You'd be surprised, like how many people like that I work with that have watched our stuff and been like, dude, you guys got me questioning the world around me, and I love it. Some sort of field to keep the bad ones out. That's telling me, man. Well, one series they talk about that. They call it quarantine. They quarantine the planet, to keep the bad ones out. But obviously, they're still able to get through. And I think you were on to something earlier when you were talking about thought forms, like the idea of like projecting. They're able to get in by projecting their negative thoughts and like maybe taking possession of other bodies or in shadows, whatever. Obviously, some are still able to get through, but that's a bit of advanced talk people might not be ready for. Scary stuff.
There's nothing to stop here.
Oh God. Siri just said there's nothing to stop here. Oh, that's cool. Just no one was talking to you, Siri. Oh, still over there talking. Government's on to me, man. I knew it.
Hello.
See, I'm telling you, dude. She's over there talking right now. Oh goodness. No one, did you hear me talking to it, Siri? Shadow people. Shadow people definitely could be using some sort of loophole or backdoor. Easy. That's true. Why is this not big? Oh, my goodness. There it is. Maybe make my thing full screen so I can see this stuff popping up. Could be the ETs using... Oh, God, Ricky. I don't like you so much sometimes. They're on to me, man. They're watching. The ETs are on me. Oh. I certainly hope not. But, if I have happen to have dreams about it tonight, I'll be waiting. But I've had my music start randomly playing all the time, dude. Like it's I definitely know. So the more I pay attention to the spiritual side of me, the more I see, not only the more synchronistic stuff I see, the more I see the universe communicating with me, but the more negative things that'll happen that'll test the faith. As soon as you start going towards the light, you're going to have things that test your faith. Bad things, random bad things are going to happen. And it's all a matter of, hey, got to look at it. As long as it's tall grays. I've heard that there's like different. So the short ones are the bad ones, man. In my dream that I had as a kid, it was like they were like, oh God, that creepy sound. Anyway, like that was really weird. They were like my height right now. So like the talls, like they're much taller, right? They're like 12, 13 feet tall or something like that from my recollection. But the ones, the negative ones are like regular people height, like maybe slightly taller. If I'm not mistaken. Let's see. If I'm wrong, it was the short ones trying to push me into going with it. It was the short ones trying to push me into going with them. Yeah. Makes sense to me, bro.